Okay, it does work, I think. Hi guys, how are you? I'm just checking if everything is working. Let me know if you can hear me and if you can see me, and that would be the best thing we can do now. So I will just check on my laptop as well if I can see the live show. Okay. Hello, Caroline. It's good to see you. It's my big pleasure to have you here. Just make sure I have everything set up and visible. Hey, good to see you. And I'll just open so I can see the chat as well. Hello, Marianne. I'm good. So I can see the chat as well. Yeah, hello, it does work. I'm good. I think I can see everybody. Okay, guys, great to have you here in my living room. It's my big pleasure. And if you want to help a little bit with this Q&A, so it's going to be more visible. Remember, thumbs up help a lot so YouTube can catch the algorithm and see we are on, and it's going to be more visible for everybody. And also, please, if you can, share it in our groups on Facebook, so on Finnabair and Friends Open Studio and in Art Collective for my patrons as well, so people will know it's time to join. We have 16 already, so that was working. I think somebody was waiting. And I've got my laptop here in front of me, so just in case I will be looking in here. And I printed the questions that you gave me already, so I'm trying to be prepared as much as possible. I was cleaning the studio today, but I showered, I brushed my teeth, and I'm as fresh as possible. Hi. Oh, it's great to have you all here. Let's have a look who is with us today. And as far as I can see, there's Gabby, and there's Elizabeth, and there's a lot of my patrons today. Hi guys, thank you so much for doing it. That's great to have you on board. And I'm very happy to see girls from Poland as well. And here's Mia from Jordan. Yeah, you are a very exotic location for us. So, I can see a sky blue hippie from Indonesia. That is also great. And UK joining. It's lovely to have you all here. So we'll give maybe like 2 more minutes for people to realize that we are on, because I know it's the weekend when people are, for big numbers of people are away as well, because in some of the countries it's free. And hello to South Africa, great to see you. And Louise from UK, yes, that's great. So thank you for joining for this little chat, and I hope you're going to have great time. Hello to Belgium, great to have you on board. Welcome to my corner of the living room. And as I said before, studio is in progress. Great news is look, your bookcase. Yes, this is a bookcase with the artwork. You can see the top of it, hopefully, as well. Hello, Tracy from Canada. That's great. Yeah, I collect cameras and I collect a lot of things, but some of them are displayed here on the shelves. I have old books, but I also use them for creating art. Hi, Martina. It's something that I just buy on the flea markets because I love it so much. And I collect old cameras. I have quite a lot. Some of them are from Russia, some of them are British production, some of them are United States, some of them are German. So I have these, and I collect a bit of everything. I am collector. Hello to Romania. Roxy from Romania is here as well. So it's great. Yes, I didn't count how many cameras I have, but I am guilty. I do have a thing for old cameras, and if you would go around the house, you would find them in different rooms. But I just think they're beautiful. Hello, Virak. Hello. It's great to have you all on board. Yeah, I do alter the cameras as well, but I try to pick the most damaged ones and the most, I would say, the least valuable ones for altering. So I can do a lot of great art, even on the cheaper looking ones, and the most beautiful ones. Like some of these are real beautiful babies. I will show you one here. Yeah, like I would feel guilty to kill this one, right? It's in great shape. You know, elements are still moving. You can still, play with this a little bit. I think one or two are in working condition, so they are just sitting here waiting, and they're just like props for taking photos. And also for me, I just like to have them, so I feel happy when I'm surrounded by old stuff. So I do have cameras, and I have a really cool one I want to show you as well. Look at this one, isn't that cute? And it has this big flashlight lamp on the top as well. So this one is Brownie. It's old Brownie, and I bought it when I was in the United States in one of the flea markets. Beautiful one, very cute. Yes, I agree. I think they're just lovely. And I have also German ones, I told you, and I have Russian ones. I have quite nice collection of quirky things as well, like the tie press or other things that you may consider to be quite fun. And I decided not to make the project today with you because I knew that my studio is going to be in a mess, but also because you asked me to do some Q&As from time to time. So I figured this may be a great moment to answer some of the questions that you have, and maybe, to know each other better. And hopefully this is going to be something you enjoy. Mini gramophone. I would love to have gramophone, to be honest. I still have some space, so I can put it somewhere, and maybe in the future I will find one. I do collect all the things that I love, and one of the things I really love is the Stereoscope, and I bought it to myself as my birthday gift. So Stereoscope for looking at old photos in 3D. So this is like 3D version of the vintage version of the 3D photos. So this is absolutely my favorite thing ever. I have two of these. Come on. I have two of these at home. One is this one, a perfectly working condition, so you can put your image here and then you can look, and then it's amazing how it's in sepia and in 3D at the same time. And the second one is a bigger one. It's in my bedroom, and it's like on the tall leg, and I think it was more expensive version as well, because the whole part here where you slide the photo in is a little bit more decorated, and the binoculars are a little bit different. So here you have to move that part to get into the sharp view position. The other one, you have to move the binoculars just like in the old spyglass or in the old binoculars, exactly. So this was my gift. I bought this as a gift for my own birthday. So you can imagine, sometimes you just find things, and if you want me to spend the money, you take me to the flea market or to antique store, and then things happen. So I have to tell you that I'm a bit guilty here with that. So yes, the studio repairs are going really well. We started moving things in today because they finished the windows, the roof windows yesterday night. Now we are waiting for the rain to check, but I really believe it is done properly, and it was completely different roof system. It was I was trying to explain that this building was in fact an old garage, and you know the garage is not really in huge need of having professional good roof. So this roof was it was adapted to fit the windows in, but my contractors were not really great at doing it. So it started to leak, and then it was leaking for quite a while. Now I found another solution. Now we have, it's called fiberglass, but honestly what it is, it's resin. What they did, they made new construction, completely new timber construction, then they isolated it properly, and then they poured resin on it. So it's, you can imagine how it is. It's like plastic, it's like elastic version of the plastic, so it's supposed to work. It's like just what we put in the molds to get these plastic looking elements. So that is like one big piece now, so there's no way it's going to leak. Fingers crossed. Yes, I was cleaning the studio all day before we got ready for the Q&A, and I just finished literally 1 hour before, and quickly had something to eat and showered, so I'm fresh and nice, not really sticky. But electricity is fine, everything is fine. So tomorrow, my patrons, you have the special show for the VIPs and art buddies, so the highest tiers. I am back in my studio and we are going to work with the sketch. So those of you who are on the highest tiers, tomorrow we have something, and we have brainstorming as well. Remember, we're going to brainstorm the idea. That is going to be really cool, and everybody will be involved, I hope. So whoever is on the highest tiers, tomorrow the same time we have a date in my studio. So we can start with the questions, I think. No worries, we are just starting. No, you are not late at all. We have a lovely group of people from Poland as well, and from you're just keep joining. That's really nice. So I had to look at the questions, and I tried to group them because they are you know, they're around some topics. So I think it was good idea to just group them. One would be group about the products, and then it would be group about more personal questions, and then about professional questions. So I think this is going to be the best way. Hello, my dear from Mexico, and hello to Netherlands. I can really see a lot of friends joining, so that's great. And hello, Carmencita. I just because I can see more of my patrons joining now. Remember, tomorrow, the same time, patrons of 50 euro and more, so art buddies and VIP. So we have a date in my studio, and we are creating a project based on sketch. So don't miss that. Set your alarm. I'm going to post in the group again today, so you are not missing that. Please remember. So, oh, Peru. I'm so happy. All the friends from all over the world are joining. So this is just great. So I printed the questions. There are some questions about products or tips for beginners. And there's a question, if you only have little money, because we all are on the budget. Oh, hello to New York. If you only have a little money, which paints and what colors should you buy? And this is a very good question, because we are all starting somewhere, and Tomorrow the same time, Joyce. It is art buddies and VIP, so €50 and more patrons only. So the same time as now in the studio. So when we are starting, we all are on the budget, and it's so overwhelming because we would like to buy everything, and these it's hard to choose, and of course it's heartbreaking because you can see people making so much of the beautiful art and you would love to have everything just because you would like to try. On the other hand, you know that you only have that much money to spend and you can only build up, you know, month by month. Hello, Nuneka. So if there are some staple products that you have to buy, the question was about paints, but I would say if you are into mixed media, no matter what kind of mixed media, there are some staples such as you need something to prime the background, you need something to stick things, and you need something to paint. So these are like the three groups you are really looking into, because what you are sticking and what you are painting, it may be all a lot of, you know, recycling. You can use found objects, so here you can save money. It's very hard to save money on the products which are good adhesives or good paints or good basics such as gesso. So if you are starting, I would spend more of the money on buying the products which are irreplaceable. So for example, gesso. If you are not sure which kind of gesso you should buy, you just need to look at what kind of projects you are attracted to. White gesso is the most popular and it's a basic product that most of people buy first. And I would recommend buying gesso. This experiment in my hair, this is leftover after not going to hairdressers for such a long time. So let's go back. Gesso, right? And the second thing is white gesso is probably the very best thing, but if you are into very dark and grungy and you are really attracted to this dramatic look of the metallic and dark shadows, you should also buy black gesso. So you need white and black. This is like the most this is like the thank you. Thank you, you're uplifting my soul at the moment. I can cut this part, but coloring my hair, you know, things happen. So gesso will be the staple. The second staple, depending on what kind of art you are doing, you either need dimensional gel. I would say gel more than modeling paste, because paste has the white color and the gel is transparent, so it gives you more of the product options. Or liquid. So if you are more into the flat products, flat projects, I would say soft gel is better for you, because you're going to do a lot of gluing with that, you're going to varnish with that, you're going to transfer with that. And if you like the bulky dimensional style, you need thicker gel. You would need also 3D gel, like 3D gel or heavy body. One of these two you have to do. And third, colors, so the paint. Acrylic paint in general, and I have a lot of paints in the range because I personally use them for different projects. And if you really want to buy the basics, I would buy maybe 2 colors of metallic paint to start. Something really... Hello, Vasily! Good to see you. I would buy probably very popular colors such as gold and silver. 2 metallics only for this metallic look and kick. And then I would buy acrylic paints in kind of colors of my choice. 5-6 of colors of the not shimmery ones. That were the ones going to be like the background colors. So probably I would buy some brown. I would buy black if I don't have black gesso. If I have black gesso, I can skip black. So browns, I would buy blue, I would buy red, I would buy some shade of green, and I would buy pink and yellow. These would be the colors I would buy in the beginning, because out of these colors you can do a lot. You can mix and match. And if you really want to decide which paints are better for you, remember liquid acrylics are going to work on the light color surfaces really well. So they don't really work on black. And if you would like to see on black, you have to buy either impasto or metallics. So it depends which colors you're leaning towards. And I would say this is staple. Gesso, gel, and 6 colors of the acrylic paints plus 2 metallic ones. And that is going to give you a great start to make any kind of mixed media. I would say this is enough. And I know it's maybe a lot of money to start because, you know, jar of gesso, then jar of gel, maybe 2 jars of gel, that may have, and then 6 colors. But once you have the paint, it goes really long way. The same with gesso, it's going to last for months. So yeah, for example, aged brass. So you are able to start creating, and then next month you can expand the line, adding more colors. You will already know your preferences, so you will see that you would like to add more of the colors from that group. You can add more acrylics, or you can add more of the gels or more of the gesso. This way you can, you know, expand, and they're going to go for a very long time. Especially if you are not making huge projects, right? If you're making huge canvases, which I don't think any beginner would do, then you need big containers and you need a lot. But most of the times, it is really great to do this plan from moving step by step. Start with 6 colors and 2 metallics, and the next month maybe 2 more metallics and 6 more colors of your choice, or maybe wax or something else. Basically, I would wait with buying waxes until you know which colors you like, because sometimes you can do very nice techniques just using acrylic paints, and they give you more of the options of application than wax. Wax is typically finishing product, so I would save a little bit money first and use acrylics and get familiar with them, and then go to the waxes. And again, I would start with the colors which I'm going to use almost everywhere, right? So again, something generic. If you are more into a steampunk style, you probably are going to go for brass, you're going to go for some kind of copper colors. Maybe I always love silver, but look, I wear silver all the time. I do wear a lot of silver, so this is my thing. I love silver color. But you know what I'm trying to say, acrylics give you more options than waxes. So I would say my first choice and my first buy would be acrylics, and then once I have, you know, this nice collection of the colors, I would go to the waxes. I hope that is helping. Rose, vintage rose and light patina metallic. Yeah, I know, they're beautiful. And I intentionally make the colors so beautiful, so I make myself happy and I give you something to play with. Because, you know, when we are all happy, the art is just happening so much better. So that was question about how to start. Okay, so if you have a little bit, if you want to start, remember primer, so gesso, 1 or 2 kinds of gel, so liquid and thick, and then acrylic paints, 6 minimum, I would say, to get nice color selection, 2 metallics, and you are set. And then we add more next time. How to make money as a beginner with crafting? I have to tell you that I think this question is not really great thinking, because when you're a beginner, you don't really have enough skills to earn money with crafting yet. You may try making some smaller projects, some cards or some nice little things for your friends and family, who maybe will be happy to buy them from you, so you can earn extra money for more of the supplies. But I would not jump on that thinking that you are going to make money right away, because in general, selling or earning money on making projects is not easy. Some people are great at that, and some people And some people they need longer time until they find their creative voice and their style, and still it may be not super popular. It may be very small niche of the people who will be happy to buy their product. So if your plan is to buy some of the products and start selling your art right away, I think you should think about it, because there are much easier ways of making money than mixed media or making art at all. So if you, I think the good start is to do it as your hobby, as something that you do for yourself, and you try and you learn. And then once you get the skills and once you have the confidence, then you can think about offering your projects for sale for people to buy as gifts, to decorate their houses, to do something as a commission work. But also you can try using your product, for example your collage or your things that you make, as a graphic that you can put on the other products, on the mugs, on the t-shirts, you know, pillows. That is also a way. But before you're going to get there, I would suggest spending some time just enjoying art and learning as much as possible and finding your creative voice. So let me see. Oh, hello, Debbie. You found a way how to get to us. Caroline, you are a gem. Mary says, I'm addicted to buying products even though I struggle with all art. I think we all have the same problem, because they are like a little gifts in the jars and we want to try them, and there's nothing wrong with that. I bought a lot of stuff just to try it, to see if I will like it. And of course, being a product designer puts me on the place where I have to make some research. I have to learn what I need in my life. I need to try different things to see if it's going to make a huge change, because making another product just because it may be slight difference to the other makes no sense. Okay, paint, maybe, but with the paints I can discontinue all the colder colors and just keep the new ones. It's an option. But you know, 77 versions of the same paste is boring and pointless, and you don't need that much. So I have to do research. Yes, of course we would like to earn money to buy more products, but I would start with close friends and family and offering that you can make something for them, and you know, go that way instead of going on the big market right away, because you will burn your fingers and get discouraged. People sometimes are very cruel, and many times they will come and tell, oh, that much? I can buy the same in the shop for $5. Right. So go and buy, right? But this is how it is. If you're putting your heart in it, you don't want to be exposed to this kind of comments. You don't like it, don't take it, that's it. But people take it very personally. So I would be very careful here. If you're complete beginner, I would not expect myself to start selling right away, okay? Yes. Yes, I give away a lot of my projects as gifts as well. I don't consider myself to be beginner anymore, but I think this is not just a nice way of doing things. And I started doing that for fun. I didn't plan to have it as my career, it just happened. But I never really considered selling them that much. It was the opposite. My friends and friends of the friends started coming to me asking if I can do something for them. It was the opposite way. I felt I wasn't ready, but they liked it, so they came. So I felt that was the right moment. So in the beginning, I did a little bit of the commission work. In the beginning, very, very long ago. I have a question. This steampunk, what's the concept? Always is black? No. I was trying to explain more about steampunk in one of the videos where I was talking about finding inspiration. And yes, Catherine has good point. You put awful pressure on yourself when you try to sell your products. This mindset is killing your creativity. So don't put it on yourself when you're a beginner. Try to enjoy it. Try to find real pleasure in it. It's not great career for anyone. I would not recommend it as a career. I would recommend it as a pastime, relaxation, and hobby that later may turn into career. But don't expect yourself to be successful right away, because it's a lot of pressure that may kill your joy and creativity. Steampunk. And one more thing. Guys, if you really want me to answer the questions, because the chat is going quickly, repeat them from time to time so I can read and I can look at them, okay? Steampunk, it's not supposed to be black only. Steampunk is, if you can mix in your head, the concept comes from mix of the darker topics inspired by Victorian and vintage era, right? So vintage Victorian. So quite elaborate dresses and steam machines and science, crazy scientists, you know, all that things that we will say that we used in that time. So leather, a lot of buckles, eyelets, a lot of, hello Marina, a lot of elements which were used at that time. So, you know, there was the time of the hot air balloons, the time of the, these big floating ones, Zeppelins. It was the time of beginning of the trains and engines of different kinds. So all that are basically colors of metal. So brass, copper, steel, all the patination colors. So the patina blue, patina green, rust, all that you think that is going to be going with that. You can think about books from Jules Verne, like, you know, about Captain Nemo and his submarine Nautilus, right? So that is the time. And you can think about all these stories about scientists working on something. Even Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, this is the same Victorian era. These people were working on electricity, working on steam engines, working on new machines. It was beautiful, but also very dangerous time. So you would go into darker colors probably, but you will still stick to these old traditional materials. So leathers, darker fabrics, metals, and it is like fantasy world clashed with all that, right? So there are really crazy elements like flying animals or these machines which are mounted on the top of crazy things like, you know, flying houses or flying pigs with the wheels and so on. This is a like mix of fantasy and Victorian era together. So I would not say black is main color there. It's used, yeah, mechanical horses. Yeah. If you can use your imagination, this kind of style is popular for altering, because you can transform objects from our everyday life into looking cool, Victorian, steampunk inspired. So I would say it's very strong in altering and assemblage and collage. It is not so popular maybe in paper, although there are some paper lines which are inspired by steampunk and they're really successful because they are fun. And as Vasily said, this is really cool. It's when it comes to fashion. And I'm not sure if you ever seen like the steampunk convention when people were joining and they were all dressed in all these really elaborate outfits. with beautiful suits and dresses and leather corsets and belts and all these machines, hats of different kinds, Google glasses. It's great. If you Google, sorry, if you use Google and look at steampunk, you will see this is great, really great style. Hats are amazing. I think hats are an obligatory element. Without hats, it doesn't count. I have like 3 pairs of Googles myself. Yeah, hats, they're top hats, really elaborate with extra adornings. Steampunk headspace, yeah. It's great source of inspiration, and you can do it in your own way. So you can take the elements that you like and you can turn it into your version of steampunk. So if you believe that for you it's going to be better to mix it more with the softer feminine side, you can still use the main elements and the concept of this mechanical style, but on the top of more soft and girly elements as well, such as flowers, birds, cages. Like a clash of shabby chic and steampunk is absolutely beautiful, and it's going to work really well. There are no rules how to do it. You can do it the way you like, but this is what steampunk is for me, and kind of naturally goes with my taste and my preference, because I by accident just started doing steampunk without knowing that I did steampunk. Anyway. Yes, lady from Stamperia. That is Belinda. Belinda Basson. She is South African. Yes, she does great hats. She is very, very talented. She makes great 3D stuff. And I think her hats are pretty amazing. And I know how much she enjoys that, and I don't blame her. That's really cool. We were talking about beginners. There was question and eggs. Yes, she did really lovely steampunk eggs. And now I really want to buy an egg myself. I have to buy an egg. Just don't blame me. I just want to make one. There was question about products as well. It was question from one of the patrons. Paper texture paste. What do you do with paper texture paste and how it is different from other mediums? Yes, Carmencita is right. Corsets and very feminine, but with this twist. Steampunk is really girly if you want to. The volume is really weak. Can you tell me, am I not loud enough? I can talk louder. You have to let me know, because maybe this is not me, maybe this is your computer. Okay, so try to put it louder if you can. Okay, so the paper texture paste. There is, okay, so I think we should just try to turn the volume on. Paper texture paste is in fact product which contains real paper fiber. And that means it has this natural paper consistency to it. So that is going to make some differences to usual modeling paste. It is still flexible, but not as flexible as modeling paste. Modeling paste is almost like rubber after drying. It's very strong, but it's also very rubbery. Paper texture paste has tiny bit of grit in it, and if you spread it really nicely, it's going to remind you watercolor paper, because it's like this paper pulp in the base. So what happens with that? Because it has this paper fiber in it, it's going to absorb your colors in a really beautiful way, which means this is one of the pastes which you can use with watercolors. Because if you like watercolor painting and you would like to include it into your mixed media, this paste is going to absorb your watercolor similar way to a watercolor paper. And this is the only paste that does this trick, because the paper fibers in it. and the effect, even when you spray, it's different. Yeah, if you will do it on the modeling paste, they usually just drip because it's not super slippery, but it is like rubber. It's just a barrier between the paper and the paint. While the texture paste with the paper pulp, so the paper texture paste, it's absorbing a little bit. And this absorbing effect gives you other feeling to it. Paints tend to go in a little bit, so they're not moving that much. They're always staying a little bit better. Even if you try to wash them off, they're going to leave some stains in it. Also, it is really fluffy when you apply it. It's a really creamy, but in this like whipped cream, maybe not whipped cream, like cottage cheese consistency. So it's a really nice effect. If you compare it to other paste, it's more similar to light paste than to modeling paste. Yeah, exactly. Light paste has similar properties because it is based on some kind of filler that gives extra fluffiness, and this is going to absorb better. Modeling paste is supposed to resist. It's like a resist paste. This one is to be water soluble. The binder is acrylic binder, the same binder as any other paste. All the Art Basics products are based on acrylic binder. And then the same with acrylic paints, the same acrylic binder. So they're all one family. Not always. You don't always have to put gesso. If you are not familiar with the surface, like you are not sure what is going to happen because it's the first time you are putting it on, I would put gesso just in case. But if you're putting this on paper, no need to put gesso, right? On chipboard, no need to put gesso. You can go right away. But if you suspect that your surface may be slippery, maybe resisting, or maybe coated with maybe coated with some kind of oily thing, some oil paint, varnish, maybe wax, I would always try to sand it down and then put the gesso first. Anything which is plastic, metal or glass has to have gesso before, because the products may not have enough ability to stick to it because it's too slippery. Okay? Of course, directly on the paper, no problem. Paper is matte, unless you are using glossy paper, which is not really popular. But it's still going to stick. It's always a little bit sticky. You can safely put pastes of different kinds on paper, chipboard, cardboard, wood, any kind of matte materials, no problems. Okay? Good. So yes, when it comes to the thickness, you can spread paper paste really in a thin way. It's going to be, sorry, the opposite. Do you put gesso before coloring? No. No. You, on the paper paste, you can put the paint directly. It's matte finish. You can go right away. This is the same story. If it has really, I would say glossy finish after drying, the product that you used before, so some kind of gel is glossy or the paste is glossy, then I would put gesso if you want full coverage, unless you want to experiment and see what happens. But if it is matte finish, you can paint right away. It's permanent and it's safe. I hope that helps. And then another question about products. Which colors mix nicely with Mermaid Teal Metallic? This is a great question, but if you think about teal color, I would suggest, if you go for combinations, you can look at the color wheel and see what is on the opposite side. Teal, and the mermaid teal, especially, it's a mixture. Thank you so much, Rustic Ink Angel Designs. It's a mixture of bluish and greenish tones, and on the opposite side of the wheel there will be oranges and reds. But I would look for colors which are more delicate. Like there is fresh orange metallic paint, which is going to work really well. And then there is more, I would say, interesting combination in my opinion. You can go with the delicate purple colors on the opposite, or the delicate pinks, such as Spring Blossom. This is another of the metallic colors I like. Or the lavender color. These are great. Also there is a color which is like minty green. These all colors are going to go very nicely with teal. And I would say for this great, very visible contrast, you can go with the rusty oranges. That would be my choices. Purples, I would say delicate purples, delicate pinks, delicate mint green, and oranges, maybe touch of red. That would be my choices. Some people always combine turquoise with brown. It works every time. But generally turquoise works with almost every color. I didn't see bad combination, honestly. I think this is like the best color for experimenting, because you are always successful with it. I didn't see bad combination with turquoise yet. I'm trying to think, but no? No? No, I didn't see any. Okay, then there's the whole group of questions about creating products, and a whole group of questions about me, how I work as an artist, and what happens, and what are my interests, and so on. So maybe let's go through the products first, okay? Is that a deal? I just take a sip of the tea. Sorry. So, I can't tell you everything because I have a contract with the company, and I have to keep a lot of things secret. But if you can imagine the groups of products I design, they require a different amount of work. It's much different, like when you compare, for example, designing stamps to designing new paint. There are two different processes. And so if we talk about product designing, first of all, there is some kind of small brainstorming happening usually between me and Prima Office, but it's very brief. Like there may be some suggestion coming that they think, okay, this could be good because we can see a demand for certain kind of product, or we think this and this may be successful, but they give me a lot of freedom. They're really great with trusting me with the choices, and I'm able to get some feedback on what they're able to get as well from the vendors they work with, because this is also sometimes the problems with sourcing. You may have the idea for the great product, but you have no factory that is going to make it. This is going to be a problem, right? So it is somehow good to make research up front before you're going to introduce completely new product, if they have the ability to produce it, because you may wake up with this amazing idea and then you realize, like, okay, nothing like that exists on the market yet, and then after making research you realize the truth is, yes, it doesn't exist because it's not possible to make in a reasonable price, for example, right? So you have to check if it's doable. Second, if you want to check if maybe somebody else did it already and you don't want to copy somebody's idea or somebody's formula, and if they did it, maybe you can do it the way that you prefer or you like. That's why I have to buy some products and check them first to see what they are done with, if it's something that I like or not exactly, or maybe I have the idea how to do it my way, how to improve it or how to change it, because it's a lot of work like this. So there was a question on how long do I'm working with Prima already. I started working as product designer in 2013. 2014 was the first release. And I started being the Prima design team member, I think in 2012 or 2011. So it's kind of a longer time. And so now, what I can tell you this part, because this is probably not a surprise. There's part of the designing that belongs to me and part of the designing that belongs to Prima Art department. For example, the labeling, the packaging, and especially packaging for the elements such as embellishments or backing cards of the stencils and so on. This is all done by Prima Art department, and of course we talk to each other and we make suggestions, but I really rely on their knowledge because there are different regulations what has to be done on labels, especially when it comes to United States. They have very long list of requirements what has to be on the label, and this is the part of the designing process I don't have to be involved with because I don't have the knowledge, and it's really, I don't need this information. I need to come with the name of the product, on the description of the product, to explain what that is. So that part they get from me, of course, but when it comes to all these stickers they have to be put on the products, no. Yes, there has to be legal information on the packaging, and it's very different to the legal information we need in Europe, for example. Like, I am still shocked that on the pack of brushes you have to have the sticker that is just not suitable for children under 14 of age in United States. If you don't want to be in trouble. Brushes. I'm not going to make comments on that, but brushes. Not even scissors, right? But that would be absolutely out of my knowledge. I would say in Europe, not suitable for kids under age of 4, maybe 3. You can see the difference, right? So I don't have that knowledge. So that is that part goes to Prima. They need to know all of these stickers, labels, code bars, everything that is there. Also, from time to time we decide to change the coloring of the line. So they are working on the new visual size of the product. To me, my part of the job is to prepare the actual design. For example, when it was a set of stamps, all the elements that are the actual elements, like pictures, right? I prepare myself in the graphic program. I usually do it sourcing different ways. I really like to use images of the things I really have at home myself. So a lot of these are taken from my own sources, such as elements I have at home here. I use scanners, I use cameras. Yes, kids will find a way to do everything, but if you are 14, you're supposed to know that you should not put the paintbrush in your eyes, for example. If you are 14 and you don't know that, that means you have a big problem, and you're supposed to, maybe if you're going to make some harm to yourself, it's going to be a lesson. Sorry. Sorry. But yes, when you are 14, you are able to get married in some countries. They're not kids anymore. But this is my... Okay, rant over. So, So that part, right? All these images. I work with scanners, I work with Photoshop, I work with Lightroom, I work with preschool, yes, preschool. Yeah, so all these things which are helping which are helping with graphic designing, I do that. And of course, sometimes there are things I cannot do because I'm not trained graphic designer. So I get some help from Prima art department as well. They tell me what to do, or they're able to tweak some things. So I give them like halfway done, and they're able to turn it into like proper file as well. So this is one of the things. When it comes to designing molds or stencils, this is more or less the same thing. First, working with the source, object, image, photo, and then turning that into the file that is going to be possible to transfer into actual product. So I always do that job now myself. In the beginning, years ago, I didn't know much. I had to learn how to do it. It was very painful sometimes. And I got more help from the art department. They were making more work. How do you design molds? Okay. Again, the same way. You use the images and you make drawings of the things in 3D so they can understand how to do it. You give them measurements. It's like a big file you have to create. You have to show the images, right? What do you want to get? As detailed as possible, so photos of it, for example, or drawings if you can draw. And then the side images. Yes, I either alter the image I found, or I take a photo of something, or I scan it if I can, or I take, photo from the top on the side, and then there's a bit of the side views as well, so they have the idea how that should look from the side as well, because how do they know? You make a photo of something, they don't know how thick it is there any rounded edge or sharp edge? They need to know that information. It's a lot of drawing and a lot of information. Thank you. Between designing, making projects, doing videos and classes, when do you ever sleep? Sleeping is overrated, but I will tell you more about that as well. So product, okay, and then the last group of products, these are the art mediums, and here again you can't really give the description exactly. You can't really, I'm not a chemist, right? So I can't really make the formula myself, but having the general knowledge on what acrylic paint is, or what the gels or modeling pastes are, what gesso is, I can I can give quite a lot of information what changes need to be done to the products, for example, we already have, to get to the new one. So for example, if we have colors of paint, I can work with color swatches, and then I'm able to provide description of the color with the examples that they try to create the formula that is going to be the closest to my idea, and then I'm able to pick from selection of the shades, and then it is going to be done. It's more complicated with the pastes, when then we have to work on different feelers, different kind of consistency. I just go to the lab and work in there with the actual chemist for some time. They show me options and they show me ideas, and we discuss as much as I can discuss with these people, because I don't have the great knowledge, but I try to put as much of information for myself for them to get the idea what I want. They do the job, they do the mixing, they give me the feedback, is it possible or not, again, because sometimes things are not possible. And then I look at the samples and I compare to what I would like to have, and we try to push it as close as possible to my original idea. It's a lot of back and forth. And the first combination, the first group of products, Art Basics, it took us 1.5 years to complete. So it was a long time. And now I have to excuse you for a moment because my cat has to go inside. No, chodź. Chodź, Kici. Oh. She just hates that I'm here and she's behind the door. So sorry. And then, hello. I hope that was giving you some idea. Like, that. No chodź. No chodź się pokaż. Chodź. Chodź. O. Here she is. The sweetest little girl. So I hope that is the idea. I can't answer the questions what is in making because this is part of the contract. I can't. Do you have a sorry? I have to wait until it is going to go. Do you have consolidated international career? What is your advice to those who are starting an international career? Okay, I will talk about career a little bit later because there are questions on that, okay? I will try to remember. Luciana, can you please repeat that in a moment, okay? And more about the products. So there was a question, do I get support from the companies when it comes to production of the materials such as waxes or paints? Yes, I do. And this is, I just lack the knowledge of the basis of the production. So I do know what I want to get. I know what I want to get, but I don't really know always how to do it. So I have to rely on people's knowledge. So we have to communicate in this way. I describe and I show what I would like to get. And then people from that lab, people who are in fact working with the actual samples, they're creating the formulas, they're trying to follow and they give me advice. For example, this may not work, but we may have another idea how to get it done. And we use a lot of companies depending on the product groups. There are different companies from working with Prima. So of course, paper flowers are not done in the same company as art mediums because that would be not possible. But there is a group of the companies that Prima used for years, and they are really well tested and they are staying for years as well. So companies making transfers, stencils, stamps, they keep coming back because they're doing a great job. When it comes to art mediums, we were doing them in 3 different locations. So some of them in United States, some of them in Europe, some of them in China. And of course it would be not possible to go to China, but I can go to European or the United American lab and check there on the different options. And now, because there were questions, what is happening with Crackle, what is happening with Jess, so we can't buy it anywhere. Guys, factories were closed because of the virus. People were out of work for weeks, if not months. So we had to wait for the production to start. Again, now it started, we moved things around, and I'm waiting for the updates when it's going to be back in the warehouse, but it is already, if not shipped, it is in the last stages of production because we had to wait for that to happen. So it's a little bit of the waiting process, but we couldn't do anything. These people had to be safe. They had to stay out of production because of the situation. And these are the country's regulations, and we couldn't really do much. Sorry for that, my dog. My old dog is here as well. She's not dying. She's just very, very old and having problems with breathing sometimes. She's older beagle and 15 years old. Very old. Real granny. So it sounds like me in the morning. Mary, oh my god. Oh. Yes, we have to be patient, and luckily I have good news. The factories they resumed work, so this is going to be back to normal, hopefully soon. So this is good news for all the people who are waiting. Me too. I want my products back and I can see the ends of the situation. Yes. Ira, idź z panem. Ira. We are trying to take her out of the stage. How many pets do I have? At the moment, 5, including the hedgehog, Blackberry the hedgehog. I have two dogs, 2 beagles. One is 15 years old. She's very, very old lady at the moment. We got her just after we got married. And then we adopted another beagle, Pepper. And this is the diabetic dog. And she is younger but not in great health. And then we adopted 2 cats, and we have 2 Siberian cats as well. And you can see one here. This is the younger one, Yaga. She's the cutest little pie, and she's absolutely lovely and very, very friendly. The other one, Mishkin. Mishkin is he's a prince. You can hurt his feelings just by looking at him. So cat, right? And we have a hedgehog, and hedgehog is not here because we wanted to have a hedgehog. It's a rescued hedgehog. Come on, it's a rescued hedgehog. So we are planning to let her out next week. Yes, Clear Crackle was very, very it was very problematic product. We had problems with one of the factories. I was not happy with the quality they provided. They were refused to change it, and in the end we decided to move the production to other company. I'm sorry, but it is coming and it's going to be better. So as you can see, I love animals, but not all of them are here because we were expecting them. They are just doing whatever they want to do with us sometimes. So the next question was, how do you preserve your paintings? Honestly, if you plan to display them for a long time on the walls, Finnabair scissors, yes, I know, I need them myself. If you want to display them on the walls, you can always go with fixative on the top, because it's going to protect it from the dust as well. But if it's waxed, you don't really have to do anything, because wax is a sealer as well. So it is giving you a lot of the protection, and it's waterproof, and it's just sealing everything nicely. So you don't really have to worry about that. So I just spray them with fixative. If there are some loose elements there, like glitter or mica powders, then I would do so. I would pick fixative or spray varnish, and that is it. You don't really need to do anything else. With the waxed ones, where there's no loose elements, I don't do anything to them. The next question, because you were, some of you were wondering, how do I divide my time between things? And there was a question coming from you here and from one of you online. How much of your professional time is actual creating, and how much is admin and organization and designing? And a lot. So first of all, you have to remember, I am a brand now. Okay, I remember that, Caroline, and thank you, Vasily, as well. I'm a brand now, so I need some serious posting on the Instagram and Facebook. Everything is it has to be going nicely and smoothly. I have quite large design team as well, and that means there's a lot of scheduling and a lot of work that has to be done upfront. So the girls know the schedule, and I've got my personal assistant. I would say that is maybe not assistant. I would say she's more like, she's my boss. but she is helping so much with all the design work and scheduling and posting on Finnabair Studio social media. And she is doing a lot of the admin work. So this part I do only in small parts, which means we make plans, we make agreements, we do things, but or you know the posting is done by her. So I don't post on the blog anymore because that would be not possible. I have to prepare the classes, which means my job is to prepare the spreadsheets for the classes of the kit content, to plan the class, to design the class. I do it all myself. I plan all my travels myself. And also there is this designing part you asked already, that I have to do myself. Sometimes I'm getting a bit of help if I don't know how to do things, but it's hard to find somebody to work with to explain exactly what you want to do. And then finally there is the part that it will be the creative side, so making projects and making videos or online events for you. And rice papers were awesome. These I made myself completely. It is all organized in some, I would say, production lines. So I don't do all three things at the same time because it's not possible for me to switch my brain from one task to another. You should really imagine that if I make designing, I would be doing the designing for 2-3 weeks in a row. And I will try to avoid any other work at that time because I need to focus on that. So in between my travels, I'm trying to find a time when I'm working just on the product. And when I travel, I will try to have some time during the week as well, so I can create some videos and some projects for the general inspiration. This is the only way I can really work. So now when I'm at home, I'm able to produce more of the online content. I'm able to make more product designing, and I'm able to do more of the videos, tutorials, and also I'm doing quite a lot of content for my patrons on Patreon. This is like subscription that you may get, and if you are interested in creating more and getting some exclusive content that nobody else can see, Patreon is for you, because you just pick a tier and you can get different things during the month. Like tomorrow we are going to have special stream for only the highest tier of the people, but we also have really cool activities for subscriptions, which are lower ones, like 25 or 10 euro per month. For 10 euro per month, I guess you may have 2 coffees and a cake. So instead of having 2 coffees and a cake, you can have 2 videos, exclusive videos per month, and a lot of other things. You know, it all depends what you like in your life. So I can only recommend, but this really is the time when when I can create a lot more of the content for online. And I can see with the dynamics how my classes are being rescheduled and cancelled. I probably will be moving towards online more in the next months, because I won't be able to travel that much. Different countries have different ways of dealing with the situation, so some of the things had to be postponed, some of the things have to be cancelled. So I will be working more on creating online content and online classes, which are going to be released hopefully very soon. And sorry for the cat. And I'm going to create... Yes, I love you. And I'm going to create more of this content every month for the patrons. So there are 2 videos minimum you're going to get if you're on the 10 euro tier, and that is, I think, quite cool. The last video, it was a really big thing, and so far I got quite good feedback. So I juggle my time, and I also try to take some time off, but it's very hard when you're your own boss. I'm very bad at taking time off. I feel guilty when I take time off because there's so much to do and so little time. She's so cute. She's the cutest cat ever. But she's very young, so I don't want to spoil her saying that. So I juggle my time a lot, and I really try to learn how to delegate the work, but it's not easy to find somebody you can give a lot of responsibilities that you have on yourself. Because, for example, with the classes, preparing the kit part, I'm just faster when it comes to deciding what may be replaced with something when products are out of stock, and so on and so on. So this is how it works. Yeah, she needs a lot of love. She was sitting on me all day and all night when the construction guys were here because she was afraid of the noises. So is this the corner of the online world? I want to take you on a trip. It's not a YouTube can. Where is the corner of the real world you live? I live in Ireland, in East Galway. And this is a small village on the break of two counties, County Offaly and County Galway, west coast of Ireland. Very rural, very relaxed, very laid back. Cows, sheep, farmers, tiny village, almost no people. So yeah, that's the corner of the world I live in. So yes, online classes, I'm waiting badly as well, but you know what the problem is? If you want to teach online classes, you need to have proper platform, like you need to find a way to do it properly. I don't want to offer something that is going to be not matching the quality of my in-person classes. So because I got, luckily, quite a good name for myself as a teacher, and people who take my classes, they expect me to be professional and to provide good quality product and project and enjoyable time. I would hate to give something done, like, you know, not carefully or just, you know, very quickly, and then spoil that and spoil that effect. Spoil that effect just by, you know, not delivering the best I can at the moment. So I have to work on the good quality of the video, on good content and a good way of delivering that, so people will have nice experience as well, even if they are not with me in the classroom. So I hope this is going to be, it's better to wait a little bit longer, I think, and maybe live streams are going to make up for that lack of the classes for now. And I will have enough time to set up the proper website and work with the webmaster who's going to do the job the way I like, and get proper video editing as well, so it's going to be done in a nice way with the voiceover and subtitles and good shots and everything, instead of doing that quickly just because it is the time to do so, and then leaving some of you maybe a little bit disappointed. You know what you know what I'm trying to say. I try to do it the best I can. Are you going to restart offline classes when it's going to be? Yes. Yes, once it is possible, I will be doing offline classes as well. And it's going to be limited, but it is going to be for sure, because probably not so much is going to be happening anyway. So you want to go out now? Okay. She's so bossy. Come on. She is so bossy. Bye. Have you seen that? And she's only 8 months. Yes, I'm waiting badly myself for all that to come back to more or less to the reality that was before, but I don't think this is going to be very easy. The soonest I can start the classes is going to be September. You are so amazing. Oh my god. You put so much effort in everything you do. I try to do my best, but thank you for saying that. It is very nice. And let me look at another questions in the meantime. And now, believe it or not, my cat wants to go in. Meow. Okay, I just opened the door and we leave it like that. Sorry. She's just bored, I guess. You wanted some real life, you have my real life. Me and my cat. Yaga. Go and play. Sorry. So we had more questions. Yeah, she is a teenager. Oh my god. She's terrible. So there were questions about what I was doing before and generally how this started to be my profession. So those of you who are interested in that part, this is the moment. So if there will be more questions that I didn't cover now, you can always ask me again. Thank you, Luneka. I've been in person class and I enjoyed it as much as I enjoy your exclusive Patreon videos. Thank you. You are so cute and so sweet. Thank you so much for saying that. I hope some of you will consider joining because we have over 130 people now, I think, today. And this is really lovely family friendly people, and you just, you know, you can always check for 1 month, and if you don't like it, you just cancel. This is the best way to check. It's like every subscription. You can just start, decide it is not for you, and cancel. And I will be, of course, I will be sad to let you go, but I will deal with that. It's not always everybody's flavor, right? You can't be for everybody. I try to do my best. So if you want to join, I'm posting these links a lot, but maybe one of my my patrons can drop a link later here so you can so you can see it. And well, they just said it's worth it. So if you take their word. So question was, can I ask you what you did before you started scrapbooking with friends and started that as a hobby? What was your profession and hobby? I'm guessing that you were a teacher. Well, kind of, yes. I was a teacher, but in reality, I'm not really teacher, like a school teacher. My profession is, and my master degree is in adult education. So I'm more like, I'm more skilled and more educated towards teaching or helping others develop new skills and finding ways of educating people and training people. And I could work in human resources in a company. I could be a personal trainer, not a personal fit trainer, but personal skills trainer. I could work, no, my subject is not art, just general adult education and online education as well. So that is pedagogics, which is general education of different kinds. That's just like 5 years university course. For the 3 years you are doing a general course, and after 2 years you're picking your special course. And for me that was uh, adult education, so anything that covers human resources, skills, training, um, education through old life, elderly education, education through internet, education through after school activities, education through personal classes, all that, right? Cultural centers, language schools, all that kind of field goes under that course at the university. And what you are doing after that, it's up to you. You usually have to find some great. I know she's such a distraction, like she is. So you have to find some place where you can train, or you can find some experience, and then that's usually pushing you towards the future job. So for me, I started working when I was still at the university, and I was nursery school teacher, which is of course not adult education, but I was teaching basic English to 3, 4, 5 and 6-year-olds, which gives you amazing experience with attracting little people's attention. And you have to have a lot of skills, including singing, which I am not good at, but finding ways to give them this pieces of knowledge in a most fun possible way. So education through playing as well. And then I started working in the kind of community center. When you do a lot of things, you help with elderly club, you do classes with the small kids, you help with the art classes, you help with the English classes, or you do your own English classes, a lot of stuff. And that was what I was doing as my profession when I started scrapbooking and later mixed media as my hobby. I was doing that after my work. And so I hope that is answering the question. And there was the next question asking when you decided that this is going to be my profession. Well, it was really life that decided. That's the great, because the specialization spreads into different fields. Yes, this kind of specialization goes into a lot of different fields, and you can find your own way of creating your career after. So apparently. How did you come across art journaling? Okay, I'll remember that. So I started doing crafts as my pastime activity after work, just to relax, because my work was very stressful. And my friends, we are all kind of creative souls when it comes to education, right? When you are educator by profession, you require some creative skills, especially when you work with kids, right? So a lot of my friends, some of them were painting, some of them were playing the piano, some of them were doing other things. And when we had some time off, we were doing things together, and one of my friends showed me how to decorate boxes, some decoupage techniques. Then I met other friends online. They were first message boards about crafts in Poland. It was really great. And then I met some friends who did scrapbooking, and that was really a great experience for me. So I had to try new things in my life, and I started just by doing that as a hobby with my friends. And then I started teaching classes as well, because kind of wanted to combine my natural love for teaching and being a teacher by profession, together with my passion that I started to develop. And my friend Natalie Kalbach from Germany and now United States, she asked me to help her with the class in Germany, and it was the first time when I really was teaching this kind of class in my life. I have to bring my charger. So I'm back in a second. because we are talking for quite a longer while, so I'm going to bring the charger because we don't want to lose the connection. Got the charger. You can think about questions in the meantime. I'm saved. My phone started to die. But it's okay. The laptop is already charged, so it's fine. Are you still there? Let me know if you are still in there and you can see me. Perfect. Okay. So, coming back to the story. Perfect. She made me do it. She wanted me to help her with the classes, and she gave me some, hints how to do that kind of job. So she was my first tutor, you can say. She was the one who was teaching the classes before, and then after that I started to be invited to teach classes in other places, in Denmark, in UK, in France, and soon I realized that I'm running out of my days off at work. I didn't have enough of the 3 days to do all that jobs at the same time, because it's usually weekends, and soon you realize that your whole vacation is gone because you went teaching. And I started teaching in 2011, and in 2012 I left my job in community center without regrets, and because it was a very stressful job. And then I started full-time job as a mixed media teacher, 2012. It's it's 9 years now. It's my job I'm doing for 9 years. Like the canvas with the brush, small paradise. I need the house of the bishop next to you. Yes, but the bishop is not going to give it away, I think. Well, it was best decision, yes, but at that time I was terrified. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't hello. I didn't know if it's good decision. It's hard to predict if you are going freelance and you are losing your regular full-time job. You decide to leave it behind. It's very scary because you don't know how long it is going to last, if you are going to have this demand for the classes in the future, and how it is going to go. So it was very scary. So I started to think, I was rethinking that through. First of all, I made a calculation to see, and this is answering to Luciana's question, how many events I'm able to do during the year and how many I have already penciled into my schedule to bring me the income that would be comparable to the one that I had as my full-time job. Is it going to be sustainable? Right? Can I afford it? And I'm kind of lucky because from the beginning there was quite big demand for my classes. So I could predict for the next 6 to 10 months, maybe even 12 months, how much work I will have. And am I okay to just do that and bring this kind of income into our family? Because we all have different backgrounds and we all have different situations at home. And at that time, we had that kind of financial situation when we couldn't afford just for my husband to work. We had to both work. And that is very usual situation for families in Poland. Both of the parents have to work in the family. So I really needed to see if it's okay to do that kind of job. I didn't plan it. My husband convinced me to do it because he believed in me and he wanted me to try, and apparently things were coming together and all the blocks were falling into the right parts. But I was very afraid and I was really very careful. So when it comes to international career, I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect or plan it, or I never ever realized having this kind of job is possible. Because I never planned it, it's hard for me to say what you should do to make this kind of connections. First of all, the best thing you can do is to be internationally visible. And if your work is going to be internationally visible, because we all use internet now, if you can, set up the activities such as online events that will be hosted by you, so they can see your skill as an international tutor, when you can show your skill as a teacher, when you can show your talent and make people attracted, that you can draw attention, it's going to work towards making you as internationally known person. So visiting shows is one thing, you can do that, but in this world now, it's more important that you're going to show your skills online and your professionalism and your, the way that you are able to sell yourself. Because no brand is going to invest money or time into somebody who is not sure of their own skills. You have to... Oh, there's a fly. My God. Sorry. You have to be confident and you have to be able to present something that is going to be the value for the company. So it is very hard work. And I wouldn't recommend this kind of career as an international teacher to anyone. And I don't do it because I don't want competition. It's just a lot of sacrifices and it's a lot of reorganizing your life. So, for example, Vasily can tell you as well, traveling a lot means you have to organize your life around your travels. What happened with me after we decided I'm going to have this international teaching career, we had to reorganize our family life this way that I'm able to make art and teach, which means everything, in fact, in our family turns around my work. He decided to step back. He decided to help me. He decided to support me. He decided to do a lot of things that not all the husbands would be happy to do. But we decided this is possible, the best thing we can do for ourselves now. And my life is organized around you. My life is organized around these product designing, around teaching the classes, around creating videos and Patreon and everything. And my household is organized around me being able to do maximum of the creative work and minimum of the chores or minimum of the things we have to do anyway. There was a question. That's amazing session. Thank you, so inspiration. What keeps you going in the worst moments, like when you don't feel like making anything art related at all? On the worst days, what keeps me going is deadline. That's one thing. And the second, the feeling that you are there and you are waiting. you are my biggest motivation, in fact. People who support me, people who are my followers, people who come and wait for me to deliver. And I told you, I'm a teacher, so I'm able to switch on the teacher's mode. I'm able, even if I'm in bad condition, even if I'm mentally not okay, because quite often I am not, I'm just like every other person. I have better days and worse days, and like probably every person, maybe more sensitive person, I have moments when I feel completely and utterly exhausted, emotionally and physically, and overwhelmed, and not worthy, and generally just let me crawl under the blanket and stay there, right? That is, we have that all. And I went through a lot of stages like that in my life, because this is natural. We can't be on our hype all the time, and this is not possible. This is not the natural way. And even if we're happy people in general, we will have bad days, because we may be sick, we may have bad time, there could be something happening in the family or at work. We are just exhausted because we were working so hard on something and it didn't work out, and so on. The list is endless. And there are people who are struggling with some mental problems on the top of that as well, and this is even harder for them. Or they have some physical challenges, like very absorbing or painful things that happen to them, like some kind of disease or some kind of disability. And you have to remember that what you see in internet, what you see on Instagram, is just like the icing on the top of the cake. This is the pretty stuff. This is the reality that people think you want to see. You are not telling them that today, guys, today I had to clean the cage of the hedgehog like 2 times because it was so dirty. And today I had almost like heart attack because electricity in my studio went down and I was in tears because I was afraid we won't be able to fix it quickly. These are not the things you really want to tell, because people have enough of that in their life, but that also creates a very false image that everybody around is happy. Because, happy people are successful people, that's how it works. But truth is, I will have to read these questions again. If I feel really down, I try to be nice to myself, and my husband usually comes and say, oh, just leave it, you are tired, you have to do something, come on, let's have tea, let's sit on the sofa, you need to rest, you need to go to sleep. This is his words. Because this is true, I'm usually overwhelmed when I'm tired, and when I still need to do something, the biggest kick is when I have the deadline, like I have meeting with you, and I really intentionally did it this weekend because I needed good distraction from all the things that are happening in the studio. I did it intentionally because I knew I will be okay talking to you, and it's going to be giving me good vibration and I'll be very happy. But, in reality, we all have ups and downs. And you didn't see me in my down ever, because I was never showing I was never showing that really bad stage of myself in public, because why should I? There's nothing interesting in it. You don't want to share that with people because you just want to disappear. This is how it works. And the same when I travel. There are moments when I'm really tired and I just want to go home and see my husband. And this is one of the downsides of this. People see the glamorous part of this career, and you know the both sides. It's like every life. There are great things because you come and you teach the class and everybody's happy and we go home with smiles, and this is the most rewarding thing that may happen in your life when you are seeing your students happy. But then you have to pack your stuff, get on the plane and go home, and then you crash on the bed and you can't move for the next day because your back is in pain and because you are tired and you just don't want to talk to anyone. Because in reality, and I can tell you exactly how it is. I'm not an extrovert. I'm an interesting mix. I was, because at my university course, of course, they check what kind of personality. My back is fine now. I had some good physiotherapy and I started doing yoga. But the truth is, we all check what kind of personalities we are. And I'm ambivert. I'm towards introvert. I relax alone. Yeah, I'm ambivert. Yeah, I can work with people and I enjoy it, and I'm able to get into the professional teacher's mode, and I can be perfect entertainer, and I can encourage people, and because I really believe in what I'm saying, and I really hope that people will see that the things I believe in may work for them as well. But the reality is, after that, I just want to disappear because my batteries are exhausted and I need to hide and I need to be with myself for a little bit. And not everybody would expect that seeing me in the classroom. I have to hide. I have to hide and I have to relax. So yeah, I'm extrovert, introvert, exactly. Having such incredible support helps to show you when you need to take care of you, letting you know that we are worth the care you give for your students. Yes, Carmencita, you're very right. I'm really blessed with a husband that is able to tell me it's time to stop, but I don't always listen to him. It's hard to listen. Sometimes he just has to stop me doing things, and it's okay. I keep learning this delicate balance between feeling responsible. Thank you, thank you so much. Between being responsible and being on time and making everything work perfectly or just work enough, and being done and being tired and being stressed, because we all are on that line in our life. And designing job is lovely, but on some points it's just how many days I have to sit in front of this computer to make these designs ready, right? I'm not skilled graphic designer. It takes me a very long time until I think I think things are done. I'm not professionally trained graphic designer. I'm not professionally trained artist. I have to figure things out myself in a little bit probably awkward and funny way. I do it because I want things done. I am motivated. Motivation is one of the strongest things in me. But sometimes I have to motivate myself to get up, right? That's what it is. Yes, completely normal. You don't always listen to us as well. No, I don't always listen to you. You believe you can do more and you can do more, and on some point, don't always listen to to the people who give us good advice. But on the other hand, I have some skills that I learned on the way. Being a teacher, being a trainer, I was a scout leader as well. So I have some impersonal skills that give me some idea that I'm making harm to myself, or I'm doing too much, or I'm trying to push things too far. I was burnout in my life once already, so I know the symptoms and I'm able to stop myself before it's too late. Burnout is a very painful experience in my life, and I don't recommend it to anyone. Burnout may happen to everybody. And I made my master degree on burnout as well. So, not I was burnt out making my master's degree thesis, but I had to write the thesis on burnout in groups of people. So I know the topic, but when it happens to you, you seem not to see the symptoms until it's quite late. So it was years ago before I started crafting. It is not happening yet. And this balance is interesting, but also one of the things that may be making that easier is because we really have unusual lifestyle, we are able to be away from usual schedule of the everyday life. We don't have kids, so it's easier for us to organize our everyday life around my work. My husband decided to do a lot as a house husband. He's helping, but it's not even helping. He's doing so many things that I don't have to be worried about, for example, grocery shopping or some organizing. Or this really helps a lot, and this way I'm able to find the time to get creative. But now with the lockdown we had, I can really see how much I was missing the time when I can really create projects and focus on myself and what I want to tell you. And in fact, Patreon is my playground as well, because I can do things I really enjoy in a way, like I can play again, and I can, you know, get to that contact I had with people before I started teaching so much. So that is also great benefit in a way. I can get closer to the people online instead of just being in classes, because that makes also different dynamics. I miss my classes though. So you are, I hope that answered your questions about my personal balance in life. Patricia is asking a question. You give so much joy to many people. Thank you. You give so much joy to me. Yay, I love that you want to play on my playground. I'm very happy. Thank you. You are very sweet. It's really great to have support like that. And I am too old, really, to panic when I have worse days. Like, I did it so many times in my life that I know it is going to be better. It's just you have to hit the bottom to get up and go back again. You know, this is the dynamics. But there are moments when you're just feeling okay. You know, hormones are going down, the weather is bad, there's nothing to eat, and you are just feeling exhausted, and your life is miserable, and you want to lay down and die. That is it, right? But then the next day, you are a little bit better, there's good breakfast, your hormones are getting up, and so on. You know, we have these things happening. Are you sleeping well in your busy life? Yes. I'm usually so tired, I just crash on the bed and I fall asleep very quickly. Very quickly. So I don't have problems with sleeping. I really love my nap time, and I really sleep a lot. Oh, Debbie, that's so nice. You need those recharge times. Sometimes it's 20-minute nap, sometimes dinner out. Yes, that's true. I keep learning that. I try, because I know I can push myself far too far. But on the other hand, it's worth it. You can see the results. And I did some things that were stupid in my life when it comes pushing myself to the limits. So I think I know where they are. And I don't want to go there anymore in my life, so I'm trying. Yes, we are very similar to each other. And I know some people think that people behind the brand, they are like, I know, superheroes or some kind of mysterious creatures that only exist in books. No, we are exactly the same. Me and you, we are the same human beings, and we have the same problems, and we deal with the same things. And I just really want people to know that it is all okay. Like, it's absolutely fine to feel tired, exhausted, or discouraged, and this is not unusual, and it happens to everybody, no matter what they try to tell you. And it's great to get some support if you can, but if you can't really find support around you, try to reach to others online, try to make friends with people online. They're going to give you amazing help. And so I just, I made so many friends because of the internet and because of relations I developed with the people online. And then I was lucky enough to meet them in person, that I can't really express how important it may be. So if you feel lonely, if you feel that nobody is around, remember we are there and you can find your tribe. And if you're going to look a little bit, you're going to find like-minded people who are going to give you a hand, because especially in crafts and arts, people are quite sensitive and they're quite open-hearted, and they really are able to give you some help when you need it. So it's always hard to say, please, I need a bit of support, I know, but remember we are there. And it's great when you have somebody nearby, if somebody who cares and somebody who understands your craziness about what you love. But if not, you are not alone. We are there, remember. the Vasilis, time changes and students all the time want new things. Have you ever think to create a home deco collection with special materials, for example, renovate on furniture and use your technique? I was asked like 3 times by Prima to make mixed media home decor line, but I still think you can use everything from my line for the home decor as well. Yes, finding the tribe is important, and I found my tribe years ago, and now I'm happy I can create a tribe for all the people who need it, because this is part of my mission. I create tribe for people who love mixed media and they need to feel included, because you are included. And no matter you are late, no, you are very on time, no worries. So you can always rewatch that, of course, as well. I want people to feel safe and I want people to feel creative, and I hate people being pushing themselves to the maximum and burning out and putting too much pressure. Oh, thank you so much. I got a donation. What? Oh, that's lovely. I got the little cat, no, the dog waving. Thank you so much, Cherise. Thank you. That's lovely. I really believe this is part of the community. Community part, of course, makes a lot of sense when you are a teacher, right? Because you want people to feel encouraged, uplifted, motivated, yes. And making the products as well is kind of one of the tools to include people into the tribe, because I try to simplify things for them. I try to show them they can go from basic crafts to more artistic ways, and I try to give them like a bridge between and show them how to go further, so they can go to the fine arts if they want to. They can play and they can discover new things. So these are like tools we use as well. But my real mission is inspire and to make people feel they are worthy, they are enough, they are beautiful as they are, and they have so much to give, and we are all waiting. This is what I believe in. I know it's very idealistic, but this is what I believe in. Oh, that was a long speech. I will now have to have a sip of tea. And thank you for the donation again. It's very, very lovely. So I appreciate that, because that goes towards my future investments into my supplies and everything. Are you occasioned to spend some time on tourist in the city visit, only focusing on teaching or jobs? Oh, I very rarely do any kind of sightseeing. Sometimes I'm able to organize time after the class when I can do some sightseeing, but honestly I don't want to do too much alone, because I'm really missing my family, my husband, and if we can organize that we travel together, then we are more likely to do some sightseeing after that. But most of the times I'm coming, teaching the class, and coming back home, because I know he's waiting for me and he's alone and he's sad, and I would love to experience beautiful things together. Yeah, tour around Madrid is waiting, I know, but we'll do it, Nuneka, we'll do it. I'm not planning to stop my in-person classes, right? So they're going to happen, just more time. There were also questions Yeah, so the turning point about my career was yes, Japan was my big thing, but it was his dream, so I'm so happy. Um, so my turning point was in fact starting teaching classes, and it was this first class in Germany with Natalie, and then leaving the job I didn't really like, and it was scary. And again, I don't recommend this kind of career to anybody because I know how hard it is, and you have to be really motivated and you have to sacrifice a lot. I honestly, if I had to tell you what I sacrificed for my job, I sacrificed my family time with my parents and my grandparents and my aunts and my uncles and my cousins because I had to teach on the weekends. And if this is very important to you, if you're very tied to your family, you may miss it, right? When you have kids, there's also the problem of balancing that time with your kids and traveling. It's not easy. And I had to sacrifice my social life as well. Most of my friends, they had time during the weekends when I was traveling and teaching. So think about that, how that is going to work for you if you're planning this kind of career. It is not always easy. You see the nice part, but you think, what kind of schedule you are putting on yourself? Chalk paints. Olga, I didn't have plan for chalk paints because Prima is doing redesign line already, and because we're doing this products for home decor there, I would not like to compete with them, and I'm not sure if chalk paints would be something that I need in my mixed media line. Speaking of the tour, will you do a studio tour with the new roof? Pretty please. The roof is almost the same, so I don't really think we need a tour on the new roof. It's the same roof. It's just new windows and a bit of painting that has to be done. Come on. Do I have any other interests, and what were my hobbies before I did my my scrapbooking and mixed media? So probably some of you will guess easily. Some of my passions, I love animals, but I never ever expect we're going to have. I know, I heard about mechanical light bulbs and wings, and yeah, I heard. So I always wanted to have animals, so I had my first dog when I was 7. Before that I had hamsters. Yeah, okay, I'm only child, so I had, first I wanted to have a sibling, right? My parents told me there is no way we're going to have a sibling. It was just not happening. So I started to ask for a dog, and then it was the dog, and I love dogs all my life. And when you have a dog, then when one dog passes away, you just get another. This is how it was. And then when we got married, we got our first dog, the one that was making noises here, Ira. Ira is a 15-year-old beagle. And then when we moved to Ireland, Ira moved with us, of course, and then we adopted her beagle sister. So she has Pepper as her company, another younger beagle. And so these are 2 dogs we have. We love dogs. And then we decided this is high time we would also adopt a cat. Because my husband is allergic, we had to be very careful with the choices of the cats. Luckily, the older he gets, the less allergic he is, so we can have cats now. When he was younger, it was not possible. So we can have Siberian cats. Siberians are very low allergenic breed. So we had one cat first, Pushkin, but he passed away very early, and I was devastated. So we got Mishkin. Ira, no. Ira is like, it's a female name in Polish as well. Irena, it's the same. Yeah, dog is better than a sibling. I completely agree. So so we got Mishkin, the older one. Mishkin is 1.5 years now, and he's a fluffy prince. very delicate nature, very royal. So I was missing the personal contact with my cat after the first one was very affectionate, and I was crying a lot because of that, because I was missing this cuddly animal. And we decided to adopt another one, and we asked the breeder especially for very cuddly dog, very cuddly cat. And this is how Yaga came to our life. And as you could see, she's here. Yeah. She is very lovable, very affectionate, and very full of personality, and she's super sweet. So we have 2 dogs and 2 cats. And yes, molds, yes, I know. Yeah. And now we have a rescue hedgehog, but the rescue hedgehog is by accident. And it is wild hedgehog, so it's going to go to the garden this week after they finish the roof replacement. So now we can work on making the hedgehog house and letting her out. So she's going to be safe. Hedgehog, Blackberry, the hedgehog, passed all the tests at the vet. She's fine, just getting a little bit too chunky. So we have to make sure she's going to go out. She's very, fat at the moment because she doesn't have enough exercise, of course. Yeah, so this is my passion. And my second passion, I really love reading books. When I was a teenager, it was my favorite pastime activity. I was reading tons of novels, a lot. I really like historical novels and detective stories, and I loved science fiction, fantasy books, and I was swallowing. Yes, Pushkin. Pushkin is now away. Now it's Mishkin. So I was swallowing books literally. I was reading so quickly. Now I read less because I have more of the other things to do, but I love reading. And I like cooking. I just enjoy making food for people. I like cooking a lot, and I was told I'm quite good at it. Yes, exactly. Writer Pushkin, yes. That was the inspiration for the name, because it sounds nice in Polish as well. It's coming from the word puszysty. Have you read The Name of the Wind by Patroclus? I heard I should. I heard I should read it, but I didn't. Should I really read it, Ndeka? Is it? Because if it's really worth it, I will do it. So I was always interested in Celtic stories in history of Ireland. Okay, that's another question. Okay, that's the book. That's enough. Okay, I get the idea. So, so this is why we decided to land in Ireland, in fact, because I was so always in love with this country, the music, the culture, the stories. I wanted to see everything in person. So when we decided to pick the destination for a honeymoon trip, it had to be Ireland, and I completely fell in love with this country, and that's why we came here. Do you have favorite movie, TV series? That's a very good question, Olga. No. Well, I was okay. I was really waiting for years and years for Lord of the Rings, and I wasn't disappointed. And I think this movie is really nicely done, considering the book. And it was a pleasure to watch, to see that happening in real life. And Outlander. Well, Outlander, yes. Guys in kilts, come on. You can't go wrong with the guys in kilts. And The Witcher, yes, and The Witcher as well. But in fact, we watch quite. I wouldn't say we watch a lot. We watch some of the shows. Casa de Papel, yes, me. We watch House of Paper now with my husband as well. But we don't really do it as much as some people because, again, that time is limited. So it's more like binge watching from time to time. Oh, it's your biggest disappointment? It could be worse. It could be worse. There are some nice things though. He moves beautifully when he's fighting, you know, with a sword. Fights are beautiful, I think. The dragon is the dragon. Like, the dragon was shitty. Sorry. Ah, yeah, I know. The same thing. Witcher is that bad? No, it's not that bad. It is, if you know the books and beauty of the language and how the story was created, you may be a little bit disappointed because it's never matching the story that you had in your own life. But if you want to watch The Witcher, the show, make sure you watch the whole season. Otherwise, you're not going to understand what is going on because it's like a loop. It's like a time loop. You have to watch the whole season really to understand how it is done. Yeah, the book is great, and the book is done beautifully, and I'm huge fan since he made his first short story and it was published. I remember that time. I'm old enough, and I was mesmerized. I was, I don't know, 14 or 13 when I read the first short stories about Witcher, and that was amazing. But you know, when you read it, you're scarred for life. There's nothing that may be matching up for that. But I guess if you were a fan of, if you're not hardcore fan like we are, Witcher was fine. I enjoyed it, but I'm able to forgive a lot. And again, and that would be this. So, animals, cooking, and reading. That would be my first. Yeah, book is also the best Polish fantasy book. Yes, but there are some other good books as well, and fantasy is just, you know, it's hard to be better than Sapkowski in this, but I like Kosakowska's books as well. So what first time reads so you don't end up feeling like butchering the script writer? Yes, you can do that. What's your favorite dish? Ramen. At the moment, I am a huge fan of ramen. Good, really well-made ramen. Yes, I love it. But I honestly like anything that is art books. No, I do read art books, but not as many as you think, and I read them very quickly. So I can't really imagine Pan Lodowego. My husband is like, yes, Grzędowicz and his books, Olga. We are huge fans of Grzędowicz and Pan Lodowego Ogrodu. So I like eating things which are made with pasta. And I like pasta of different kinds, and I like noodles, and I like challenging myself in cooking. So we started cooking ramen at home as well. After we visited Japan, I decided we can do it, and we did it. I'm getting there. It's from scratch, you know. It's chocolate. Yes, chocolate is great. My husband is a huge fan of chocolate. I'm writing it down. Grzędowicz, yes. Pan Lodowego Ogrodu. This is the book, as Nuneka said. This is the book. So these are my passions. I really love coming back to some of these things in my life. So either cooking or reading or watching some of the TV shows. And I really enjoyed Game of Thrones, to be honest, until the last season. I kind of knew what is going to happen, but I'm still unhappy with that Martin never finished his book. Because I read the book years ago. I knew the book before, way before the show. And I could see how the plot was going sideways a lot. And then, you know, I just stopped reading once I realized he didn't finish yet. I wanted to give him time to finish so I can enjoy everything, and then he never, he got distracted, and I don't think he's going to live long enough to finish it, to be honest. Sorry. Well, they did a lot of shortcuts there, too many. Oh, Shah Rukh Khan, yes. Yes, that was the guy from the Indian movies, I remember, in Bollywood style, yeah. Oh, last season's just made to skip through. Well, how do you still find antiques to collect? Things are add to mixed media. I go to flea markets a lot, and this is my guilty pleasure. I go to flea market, car boot sales, antique stores, and I buy things that people usually don't consider to be valuable. I buy some things which are more valuable than others, but most of the times I just go for books, some old tools. As I was showing you some of the interesting things I have on my shelf. What is the strangest thing you added into mixed media? Thinking now. The strangest thing, like buttons, and then in the beginning that was not strange. Crushed shells, that was kind of strange. Poppy, poppy pods. The when when the poppies are dried and then the poppy seed comes out, the pods out of the poppy. That I use that. A poppy seed as well. And then a lot of mechanical or electronical parts that are not really typically mixed media. So I dismantle quite a lot of the computers with my husband, and there are some parts of hard drive or the old from the computer, and the parts of like the laser reader and the motherboards, all these things that come from computers, not laptops though, like the old school PCs. These are the ones I think are the most crazy ones I used in my mixed media. Also some parts of the body of the dolls, like hands and faces and so on. Martin loves to kill everyone in the book series now, including the viewers, thanks to the final season. Yeah, that's a very good statement, yes. Unfortunately. Like, I have this problem, I usually get attached to the people who are going to die very quickly in the book. That's what it is. Is there anything in art you don't like? Is there anything in art I don't like? Cleaning. I don't like cleaning after. So that's a very good question, but in fact, in the creative process, when it comes to creative process, I don't like the cleaning part. Washing all of the brushes and so on. This is the part I don't like. But when it comes to crafting and arting world, what I don't like is drama that people sometimes cause because I think their ego is too fragile, and they want to make sure that everybody around know that they are so important. That happens a lot. People are jealous, people are just simply not friendly to each other, not understanding, and not compassionate. And it's just like in everyday life. Exactly, people are the best and the worst part of the community. You meet lovely people that you'd like to be friends with, people you really like, and then you may also meet people who will be the biggest mistake. And then it's hard to say right away who is going to be who, right? And I have this stage of my life that I'm very careful about people I make friends with, because there may be some other reason than just genuine friendliness behind that. It's there are some people who love to be closer and attached to people they consider to be more successful than others, because that works. And yes, these bad people teach us very important lessons as well. And there are also people who like to take advantage of the friendships because they believe, okay, you are going to be so nice, so you're going to help them, you're going to give them whatever they want to get, you're going to give them advice and so on, and they give nothing back, which is not friendship. It's just being emotional vampire. And you have to be careful. And I am painfully aware of that, and I'm not really great friend to have because I don't have much time and I don't have much energy. And I always say that to people, that I'm going to be your worst friend because I'm not able to build good, strong, uh, mutual relationship because I'm distracted with so many things, and I won't remember your birthday and I won't remember um, many things that may be important to you because I will be thinking about something else at that time. And this is not because I don't respect you, it's just because my life is complicated when it comes to the things. But I don't expect anyone to remember my birthday either. So this is kind of fair. And friendships are uh, not the good thing about art community, but are also the best. So avoiding drama is the best thing that you may do. That's my thing. And sooner or later, you're going to realize who are the people who are going to have your back and going to support you. And there are many of them you won't even expect to be your allies, but they are. And you may discover that the people you consider to be your closest friends and your, best buddies will stab you in the back. So, like, it's not Wonderland. It's like in real life. On the other side, there are real humans like we meet on the street, and this is the same life. So you have to apply the same rules to your relationships in this world, and that's why I'd say I hate drama. So you have to be. This is like the thing that I try to get away from as much as possible. So I don't really. I don't really get involved into drama, and if there's something happening, I'm trying to keep it cool and professional. And I know who are my allies, and I know that I'm there to protect my friends as well if they need help. Well, backstabs heal quite well. Depends who's stabbing you, but yes. But this is true. Like, you have to prepare. This is the world. This is not like everybody is crazy creative and wonderful and active, but people are people, and you have to expect the same things happening. So I think it's a little bit better now, to be honest, because I remember the times years ago, and we had a lot of drama queens in this industry, a lot. And I think they started to realize that this is not working anymore. They were creating their own packs of friends, and they were surrounding themselves with, allies. And, it's almost like in high school, the popular girls sitting on the special table and so on. I think this is changing now. Or maybe I isolated myself so much from that I don't see it that much anymore. Maybe this is it. You have to tell me how it is. But I think it's better than, for example, 8 to 7 years ago. Where they have gone, I don't know. Maybe they are just too tired doing that, or maybe they realize this like very short-term strategy. I think they can't really last. Maybe, yeah, I think, Elizabeth, I think you are right, because this kind of relationship can't last forever. People will sooner or later realize that you are not real, not genuine, you are not friend, and they just leave you, and that's what it is. Maybe they evolved. Let's hope they don't evolve into something worse. There were also questions, what are the plans for the future? Yeah, I think people just get tired. And maybe we are just getting more matured and all, more experience as well, and we know that. And you can't be completely drama free, but you can do your best to distance yourself from these people, and that really works. It's like I'm looking in that mirror. I've never thought we would be like us. You said sometimes we think you're a superwoman. I would love to be one. Maybe I wouldn't be so exhausted and I wouldn't have a pain in my back. No, I am one part of my plan for this time when I was here. I wanted to make sure people realize that I'm a human and there's human behind the brand, and I can give my time to you now to show you that I really exist, and I have normal life, normal plans, desires. I do have quite usual things, and maybe I was lucky to do some things in my life, and maybe there are some things which I'm good at that allow me to do it, but I'm also a terrible I really suck in other things as well. So we have our strong uh, sides of the personality, with the good things and the bad things, all of us, and that's how it works, I guess. I don't know if you're able to say, but you will have new access coming out. I'm not able to say. Sorry. Like I know the answer, but I can't tell you. um, have you ever had the desire of having a child? Yes, yes, but we are not successful. And this is very hard topic. And asking about children is in general very sensitive topic for the people. And I was many times presumed that I'm pregnant in my life, and I felt that it was really sad because I couldn't, and people were asking me the questions, and it was very, very sad because most of the times these are like sensitive matters, and it is something that we don't we can't always control. That's the problem, because some of us we have the situation when we would love to have children and we can't for some reasons, sometimes financially, sometimes we don't have a partner, sometimes we can't because of the medical issues, sometimes we just realize that it's too late for us, or sometimes we tried but it didn't work. And then there are some people who really regret having children as well, and it's also a very sensitive topic. So this discussion about having kids or not having kids is always sensitive matter. And people are most of the times, I would say, quite sensitive to this kind of questions. No, I know that some people don't want to have one, and that's true. It's just, in a way, I think I'm not the worst example. So the thing that so far we don't have children, it's not killing me only for that reason. That I have other things in life that absorb me a lot, and they take a lot of my attention and a lot of my skills and time, and I'm able to keep myself occupied with other things. So it is not killing me, but it is very painful as well. It's this delicate balance that happens. Yes, the worst thing is when your family will look at you and ask, like, "Oh, you are so old, and when you're going to have children?" Like, right? If you want children, make yourself some. just leave me alone again. But this is the feeling that you have when your, you know, grandmas and your parents are asking for, or your uncles or aunts. Yeah, society expects women to have children. This is exactly the feeling, and it happens everywhere. And unfortunately, when you have different views on that, you're considered to be strange, or they don't understand your choices. On the other hand, if you're a single woman, you want to have a child, in many places it's still considered to be hard as well. So it's very hard to please people. Very, very hard to please people, no matter what you do and what your choice is. Because if you are a single woman and you want to have a child, why? Okay, so what are you going to do? And if you don't want to have children, oh, you're missing things in life. It's very complicated. Many times people do that to everybody, and sometimes very innocent situations can cause a lot of drama in people's lives. So it's good that you put these things in order in your own head, so you're not getting triggered all the time. But I'm sure all of us heard the stories. Like we always make jokes on that as well. Like when you have one child, oh, they will ask you when is the time for the next one. You have 2 children, oh, okay, maybe one more. Then you have 3 children and you're pregnant and saying, oh, how many? Like you're supposed to stop, right? Maybe you watch television instead. They are never, never happy, no matter what you do. So, yes, and then single and adoption gives a child a future. Refuse to allow others to dictate your choice for happiness. Yeah, that's true. That's true, and adoption is a great option, especially in the countries where you can do it easily. In many countries in Europe, it's very hard to adopt. And there are some countries when it's almost impossible to do so because the bureaucracy and everything involved in that. So this also sucks big ways, because there are children who would love to have families, but they are stuck in the system and they can't get out because parents are not able to be found, and they're still legally having parents and so on. A lot of issues here. It's a huge topic, and a lot of people, once they start to think about it, to check the options, they realize it's like iceberg. It's very complicated. Plans for the future, classes, products. I have so many, familiar, so difficult questions as well. Yeah, we were too old, you are too young, you can't be perfect. That's true. You know, when you were too young, they will say, oh, couldn't you just hold it a little bit longer? Like when you are older, like you are going to break in half, don't get pregnant in that age. Like, really? Yes, thank you so much, Laura. Yes, I'm okay, and I'm much better than I was. Welcome to the standard Asian family gathering, Anna, where you cannot wait to escape as soon as arrive. The same in Poland. When we have the big family gathering, we go and we eat a lot, of course, and then the questions start, and after the round of questions about family life and so on, and they're investigating what is happening in your bedroom, then they're going to be starting to brag who is more sick and who's got pain in what part of the body and who's going to die first. This is the moment when you eat your dessert and you leave. Oh, you are my heroes, Prague, the artist in me. Thank you. I'm so happy that I could help. Oh, I'm trying not to change, but this is truth. Really, we have serious issues on the family gathering. My dad is the best, I can tell you. My dad is like, we are coming to my aunt, let's say my aunt's birthday, and big Polish dinner. So soup, after the soup, the main course, after them, and then some cold meats on the table as well, and then some cheese, and then some salads, and so on, tons of food. And then my grandma or my aunt started talking about pain, or like going to hospital, or who died last week, or all the problems and so on. And my dad is sitting on the sofa, full, completely full. It's like, let's go home, let's go home, home, let's go home. After 2 hours. Usual family gathering, 6 hours. So after 2 hours, we are trying. Yeah, you can't. How does it feel to be an empowered woman and one of the persons that have changed so much that industry panorama? Are you aware of that? No, Nudeka, I'm not aware of that. Honestly, I'm not. I can see I have impact on people when I'm there in the classroom, and I can help them with telling my story or encouraging them. And I can see people using my product, and I can see they are inspired, and they emulate the style that I showed them years ago, and they keep picking new things, and then they create, they change in so many ways. But I'm not aware of the scale of it, and I just didn't accept how my creativity changed people's perspective or the creativity ways. I have no idea. And maybe it's better, I don't know, because I could get overwhelmed and I would just feel that something strange just happened and I don't know what to do. I have no clue. I can see things are happening, and you know, I have no idea what happened and how it happened. Well, I am kind of aware it is happening, but I am not sure how much it really makes a difference. I watched the video, Stop Trying to Learn Your Techniques. I'm a patron, if yours as a few days ago. Yay! Thank you. I'm trying to get out of my family meetings after 30 minutes. Yes, Olga, yes. My dad, he can stand 2 hours because he is waiting for the dessert. Cake. You know, cake is great motivation to stay until it is served. I should be aware of that. You have brought mixed media to, I don't know, people who didn't think it was possible for them to create like that. Thank you. It's part of my mission, really. I want to show people mixed media is for everybody, and I really, I really wanted to show that you can do it. And whoever makes you feel that mixed media is complicated, it means they are not explaining that enough. And I know there are some people who want to create this sense of mystery, and you know there's some magic happening and nobody knows how they did it. But that's intimidating, and it's not pushing people into creativity. It's not pushing them to try. In fact, it's really the opposite. If they create too much mystery and they're trying to pretend they are the masters, and you are never ever going to get that level of skills and knowledge, they're just doing a bad job, in my opinion. And I think it's not going to be taken away from you if somebody is going to learn. It's because it's multiplying, right? It's like happiness. If you make somebody happy, happiness is multiplying. The same with creativity. If you make something, make somebody feel creative, if somebody is starting creativity, it is just spreading the happiness and the creative spirit in the world. And then, yeah, we cannot own it. I can say, okay, these techniques are mine. I really learned them from scratch. So I think I'm kind of, you know, maybe not the owner, but they're my signature things. So if you're planning to teach that, maybe mention that is you learned that from me. But on the other hand, my biggest happiness is when people take my advice and my inspiration and take it to another level to make something which belongs to them. And here was this kind of delicate matter because I have to be in balance between earning money to support my family and giving away things as well. So it kind of works really nicely when we can make this relation like we did on Patreon, that I'm giving away things that I believe may be inspirational, they're fun, and you are happy to give me something back so I can continue this journey. And I was trying to explain that to people, but because my patrons exist and they give me this monthly subscription money, I can create for them, but I can also create for myself and I can create for other people as well, more than when I have to travel a lot and teach in-person classes, because it's this balance. Because I have my patrons now, I'm leaning towards I can stay home a little bit more and create more for everybody, because I'm this flow of the money that we need to pay the bills and so on, it's more secured, and this way I don't have to put that much energy towards traveling, which is very helpful, and I really thank you so much for doing that. So all of you who are my patrons, thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for the support, and I really mean it. And you make serious magic happen in my life, because I can work more on the projects and on the inspiration for you and for everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't think real creativity needs to be sheltered. It's fertilizing the other creativity. That's very true. Yes, in the short time that I was watching you, I learned that even I mess up, I can fix that and I make it beautiful. True, yes, you shouldn't give up too early, because you can always make your project work. Sometimes it's just painting it black and rubbing metallic on the top. If everything else fails, this is the last thing we can do. I'm mixed media island in a scrapping country, but I try to evangelize. Don't worry, fear not. It is going to happen sooner or later. These people will start to have desire to go on the higher level. It may not happen right away, but imagine when I was starting years ago, 2011, my first class, people had no clue about mixed media, and most of the time when I was coming to teach the classes, it was like scrapbooking with mixed media elements. It was hard to convince them to accept that I need more than 2 hours to teach my class, because they were used to having pre-cut elements and scrapbooking class with the kit when everything was ready and you were just assembling that together, while assembly is one thing and who's going to paint it, right? So I need 3-4 hours minimum for my class, and that was hard to swallow for some of the shops in the beginning. But I got there and it is happening. Oh, my husband is here. And I have my fresh bread. He is the best. Fresh bread baked at home.
Some small green tomatoes.
And we have small green tomatoes as well. So, let me try. Warm bread. With salty butter. Okay, honestly, if you're coming to Ireland, the thing that you have to try is butter. The best butter in the world. Let me read the comments. My power. Make people believe they can and want to try. Yes, because they can. Because I really What I'm trying to say to people, look, I'm not trained artist. I have no master degree in any kind of art. I finished my art education in primary school. And I had this as my hobby and my passion, and I wanted to play, and I was experimenting. So if I can do it without any special training, without any crazy talent for art as well, I'm not good at drawing, I'm not great in fine art because I never trained it, I never tried. You can do it as well. And you can't compare yourself to others. And this is very important message now, so focus for a moment. The only person you should compare yourself is you. But few days ago, month ago, compare your work with your own work from the past. Don't compare your work with others, because you never know, you never ever know what kind of set of skills these people have. And your skills are different, and your story is different, and your way of communicating, your style is different, and the other people's style is different. They have different personalities, stories to tell, skills they were training maybe in the past or not. And you may look at others and say, hello, my work looks pretty cool. This one doesn't look too nice. There, I'm better than them. Yes, maybe. But on the other hand, you don't know that the person who's making that art is just starting, and maybe this is like the biggest thing this person did in her life to do something creative, because she was in huge need of doing some change in her life, and that for her is a huge step, and you should appreciate that huge step, of course. Second, you can look at somebody's work, find beautiful art and say, it's amazing, I'm rubbish, I can't do that, and I can't even compare. And this is the point, don't compare. That person could be doing that for a living for a long time. That person may be a trained artist. That person may have talent for doing things in that style, but she has no idea about how to do things that you are good at, right? And she may be so jealous because you know how to knit a beautiful sweater, or you know how to bake a bread at home, sourdough bread from scratch, right? And you have your story. We are on the different stages, as Caroline said. And if you want to see your progress, and you want to grow, and you want to see positive things in that, compare yourself, with your own work. If you would like to see the progress, it may be changing the style, or it may be getting better at things. Maybe your message is going to get clearer. Maybe you're going to find your own voice. Compare the things that you did in the past with the ones you make now, and you will see some kind of the progress. You will see what is happening with you. Or maybe you realize that you're losing your voice, and it's hard time to just go back to your natural way, because you're trying to get inspired by others too much. And you're losing your voice because you're trying to be like others for no reason. No reason. Alex really gave me the outlet for my art. Like, if I'm not good at drawing or fine art, but but I find my being in mixed media, I can't be an artist like that. True. We don't have to be all the same. Like, we don't have to draw, but if we can collage, we can glue, we can paint, we can highlight, we can wave, many things. Yeah, if you can see the progress, that means it's good. And this is the most important thing. So I hope that gave you some idea about I think I went through most of the questions. So there are questions about my dreams. Okay, honestly, my biggest dream, because what is your biggest dream? My biggest dream is I can continue this creative journey for a long time, and I will keep finding ways to inspire and encourage and uplift people with the art or creativity. My biggest dream is to um, keep finding ways to communicate with you all, to make a difference, to do things which are going to push people forward, to help them develop new skills, to make changes. Like I really would like to keep the job I have in a way, but I would like to find new ways and maybe new talents in myself, maybe new possibilities. This is my big dream because my okay, and of course I have a big dream. I would like to live long, happy life with my husband, just like my parents. So for now, and just like my grandparents were dreaming as well, you know, together. That is my dream. So I will be able to enjoy the life with the person I love. That would be really great, and that I will find the happiness in everyday life as I'm trying to find it now, and enjoy things that I enjoy, like traveling with my husband. I enjoy a lot. They are not very specific dreams. I had one specific dream and I made it happen. And that was I wanted to move to Ireland and have a house in Ireland and live here, and I did it. We did it together. We left our life in Poland and we moved to Ireland and we did this. We have our own house, and it's not um, it is not amazing huge house or something. It's big, it's old, it's 300 years old, and I absolutely love living in a museum, and this is really making me happy. If you could talk to any famous person, dead or living, who would it be, and what would you ask? That's a hard question. I was never thinking about that. Famous person, dead or living. I guess. Okay, I know. uh, your Polish apartment had Irish vibe as well. Yes, because we were. I know. Yes, my house is 300 years old. It's an old Irish manor, well, not manor house, dower house. It was built in 1690s or 700s. Very old structure, very old stone, and I love it. We have, but it's nicely preserved. It's not very old. Uh, who takes care of your furry family when you travel? We have pet sitter, not exactly pet sitter. Our neighbor, she takes care of the cats, so she comes to my cats and gives them food and water and check. And our dogs go to the farmer and have vacation on the farm with the cows. So we have like a dog minder for that. I found the person I would like to talk about. Olga's question. There's one author which I really love personally, but not just because of his talent to tell, to write books and tell stories, but also the way he is communicating and the way he is able to encourage people to create as well. I would love to have the chance to talk to Neil Gaiman in my life. Neil Gaiman is a great guy, and I've heard him talking to people, and I would like to ask him if there is a moment in your life when you finally can believe that what you have done is real and this imposter syndrome is going to go away or not. And if you don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's that the feeling that you believe that whatever happened in your life is not real. And yes, you may be a famous writer or you may be mixed media teacher and product designer, but one day you're going to wake up and you realize this was only a dream, and now it's time to go back to your office work and go back to normal life. Yeah. So I would love to know that, because I'm sure he will tell me a bit of his insight on that. So I would love to talk to him, just because I admire his work, and I know that he's real as well. So I hope that's answering. You never. Oh, okay. It never goes away. Sheesh. I was hoping maybe one day I will feel like, okay, I'm there. You know, like you get this enlightenment and so on. It's guys, it's lovely to talk to you. And I was thinking like this is going to be good distraction, not to think about all the stress in the studio and so on. And I was so right. I'm just having the best chat, and you are such a lovely audience. Yes, maybe we are in the Matrix. Maybe we are, but it's not really bad Matrix to be in. I'm always wondering, those people who are trying to find the truth about the reality, how far they will go to really look for the answers. And what if they realize the answers are not there, like they can't find anything more than it is given to us. I guess we're all going to learn one day, or not. Depends what you believe in. Some people believe they will learn after they die about everything, and some people just don't believe in that, and it's okay. It's interesting, this kind of things. Constant question to my husband, the scientist. Oh, I guess he's got kind of interesting life with you as well. If he's the scientist, you are the crazy artistic one. A lovely couple, by the way. I can see that he's commenting. Olga, imposter syndrome is thing that that's a struggle with. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was suspecting. I was just thinking maybe there's a way to get away from that. But I would like to get his insight, because he is surely more experienced than I am. Oh, our conversations are super surreal. I can imagine. Even with my husband, we have some surreal as well. Are you a religious kind of person? Not really. I would say I'm kind of on the spiritual, kind of religious. You know, being a Polish born, you are kind of naturally inclined to be Greek. You're going to be Catholic, right? So this is how it is, and you're supposed to follow the old traditions, and so that includes going to church for all the ceremonies and so on. And of course, yes, and I was married in the church as well. No, and no, I don't. And that is kind of the thing that is more traditional than anything. The problem is it's very hard to be religious in the country when you realize that the institution is failing on so many levels. That's how it works, especially in the Polish Catholic Church. So you start to think, and if you learn to think for yourself, you sooner or later you realize that you are not really good Catholic anymore, and sooner or later you realize that generally, yes, you are a believer, but you don't fit into the religion that you were born in, and then more questions happen, and then it doesn't work. I'm kind of always happy to see how great and fresh in a way is Christianity in United States, to be honest, because they go from completely different level. They start in a fresh way. The community is closer to the people, and religion is closer to the people than it is in Europe. So it is different experience, I guess. And yeah, that's exactly this thing I think, Olga. It depends on what you mean by God. Yeah, that's another question. Some people are very strict about the definitions of what they believe in, and what is who is God, and what is the name of that God, and this is the only name, or they are able to accept people may see the holiness in different way or give it different faces or names. It is complicated story, and usually because I'm very respectful when it comes to people's feelings and beliefs and religion, I don't really go into deeper conversations in the creative situations for in the classroom, for example. Only when I feel comfortable because I know this person a little bit more, I can ask. Yes, I can ask, for example, because I can see they are some kind of different culture, or they have different experience or spirituality, and I'm very curious because I love learning about new things, and I would love to know what is their path, what is their way, what they believe in, how it is organized, how does it work for them. It's great to know, but in the personal contact, not in the classroom for sure. No politics, no religion, even no sport. Sorry. No sport as well, because this is always causing trouble. People start fighting and they get triggered easily, and I don't need that. We need to focus on creativity and good things. No sports. No politics, no religion, no sports. It's good to find a teaching church and community will take open discussions about, yes, curiosity and the question. This is huge thing if you can find that. And I've seen in some countries it does happen more often than in others. And it's very delicate matter, and people usually are not so happy when you start to ask kind of delicate questions as well. And you have to really be careful and sense if that person is going to be good source of information. They feel like they need to convert you, or they feel like they maybe are offended or something. Be careful, that's my good advice. We can talk about green and purple and discuss about 4 hours. Exactly. And this is very good topic to talk about. Art is the best topic to talk about. Good night. Thank you so much for staying with us for so long. I know for you it's so late. I'm probably going to... I've been blessed with a very good safe place for this. Carmencita, I'm so happy for you. You are in the great place, and I hope that you are going to enjoy it for a long time, and it's going to help you grow personally, because this is the most important thing. There are always ways to find your personal growth path, right? You need to find your ways, and our creativity is one of them. Being creative is one way of the growing growing as a person. And for some people it's going to be religion, so for some people it's going to be working with others, for example, public service for others, like helping others. Many paths, many ways, and you can do more than one. And all the people who are trying to do something for others and trying to grow, they're going to be looking for the new ways and trying to expand their boundaries. And as long as open-headed and open-hearted, I think everything is going to be fine. Red. I know, Nuneka is traumatized by her red project. It was beautiful. I remember that one. It was really with a lot of that Oriental Japanese style in it. By the way, talking about spirituality, Japan is a great example. They have 2 traditions mixed with each other there, and they are absolutely okay, and they don't compete with each other at all. They just go to both. And it's really interesting to see how Shinto and Buddhism, they grow together, and from the 2 different roots, but they start to go, and the branches of that tree are starting to mix with each other, and people are able to easily accept it, and they are in a friendly way, and then they can follow both traditions, and this is absolutely natural, and nobody's getting offended. And it's the best thing ever. So guys, is there any question I should answer before I'm going to leave you? Because probably, yes, coexisting peacefully. This is the most important. And I believe it's possible. We should all coexist peacefully in all of the things we do. Like, there really no need for us to fight over things. We should find ways to agree than disagree. That's why I love traveling, honestly. I just learn so much about people when I travel, and I learn about about traditions, about okay, question, perfect. About traditions of the people, what they know about the world, what they think it's important, and exactly, traveling is the best thing that may happen to you, I think, if you like it and if you can do it, because you learn so much talking to the people in there. So that's why when I'm in my safe place with smaller group of people, I can ask some questions about the ways they live and what is important for them. I just want to learn. Yes, being tolerant, exactly, and respectful. And if you go to the new place, try to be respectful and see what they do and try to do the same as them, so they don't feel offended. And I'm waiting for that question that is, yeah, being more tolerant. I hate that this pandemic take me. Yeah, I had to cancel 3 trips this year. I understand completely. I had to cancel everything from March, April, May, June, and didn't make any plans for vacation in July and August. So I am not going to have anything during that time. Just you, my patrons, and my online community and my creativity, and hopefully maybe we're going to go somewhere in Ireland to do a little bit of the road trips. I love road trips in Ireland, they're beautiful. Yes, learning new cultures and new traditions is beautiful. No, surprisingly, I'm not exhausted, but it's probably the questions are so interesting. But thank you. Uh, how do you cope with chainmail wearing knights invading your castle? Chainmail wearing knights invading your castle? Oh my gosh. Where's my birthday? I know I missed your birthday, so I'm not going to tell you now, Vasily, because now you will have to remember mine. No, I'm not saying that. I can only say it's in April. um, I'm happy I could be with you as well. Thank you so much for thank you, guys. It was great to have you here. Is my accent Californian? No. My accent is Polish. My accent is Polish, and Polish with a bit of Irish on the top. Thank you very much, and I wish you a wonderful day or night, and I hope to see you soon again, because we are going to have a date tomorrow for patrons, just to remind you. So all the girls who are here, remember. You missed the question. When you will come to teach in California? I missed you when you were in Temecula. The plan was to come in this year, and I have to set up new dates, because in this situation I'm not going to go back to the United States this year. It doesn't look well when it comes to situation with the open borders, and also I would like to see what is going to happen in autumn. So far it seems to be all complicated, So because I had to make the choice, I had to reschedule all the classes from European shops to autumn. So I will wait with intercontinental travels until next year. The same is for Australia and New Zealand. And I hope I will have a plan in autumn to start some schedule. And then I'm of course going to come to California. Thank you. And honestly, I love chatting to you. And I know Q&As are kind of like, you know, just talking about nothing, but apparently you wanted that and apparently you were enjoying it. So I'm here to help. Thank you so much. And I will have my time now to um, clean the studio until the end of the day. So tomorrow I can have this session with my top tier patrons. 50 euro and more, guys. You know, art buddies and VIPs, you are invited. Same time as today. So 7 p.m. I will put the time converter into the group so you can convert your time. Yes, my hubby was helping me a lot, so we had some time today. Yeah, I know. We have to wait with the classes, Nuneka. I know that you are on the same boat as me, and we are not really seeing a happy future. Yes, it's great to hang out with you guys, and I miss the contact with you a lot. So it's great to have you in here. Yes, tomorrow at 7, Vasily. So it's going to be my 7. So for you, it's going to be 2 hours after, I guess. So we are going to say goodbye now. I will put the converter in the group as always, so you can check. So this is us saying goodbye. Yeah, you can see she doesn't really make any. Thank you. Yes, for you it's 9. Thank you so much. Thank you for answering the question, including the weird ones. It's conversation. Sometimes you get these weird questions and like, why not? If there would be something really uncomfortable, I wouldn't answer. I would just say, you know. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day, guys. I have to switch off the camera. Thank you, Noneka, thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you, Debbie, and thank you, Olga, and Vasily, and all of my friends. You are great. Thank you so much for all the support. Bye. First time with clean hands. Oh, that's not true.